How's it going? Welcome to my video. Okay, so what we're gonna do with this video is we are going to be talking about a flashing D4 light on your Acura. So basically, if you guys have a flashing light, and normally speaking, flashing light on your car's dash a lot of time means that there is something wrong, seriously wrong, and needs to be fixed or looked at, etc., etc. A solid light is less severe. A blinking light is actually telling you that there might be something that that there might be an imminent failure somewhere. So what does the D4 blinking light mean on your Acura or on your Honda? So in general, this light pretty much indicates that there is an issue with your Acura's transmission, and the severity of it pretty much varies from case to case. So if you guys do get a blinking, flashing D4 light on your Acura, and for the most part, it's pretty much indicating there is a fourth gear transmission issue, and you might notice that your Acura might be having some hard shifting issues, or a couple. It might have a hard time shifting gears, and it might have some rough acceleration. And these are signs of transmission issues, or in some cases, maybe some issues associated with the transmission that might need to be changed out. So basically, when this D4 light is flashing, it's pretty likely that your check engine light will also light up. And trying to figure out what your transmission problem is that caused the D4 light to be flashing could be difficult if you don't have a separate diagnostic code for it. And to get a diagnostic code, you guys will need an OBD2, sometimes an OBD1 if you have an older Honda, but most of the time probably an OBD2 scanner will tell you what exactly is causing the check engine light and the D4 light to come on. So specifically, the P0700 code essentially is mainly associated with this D4 light. And you guys do have a D4 light and you plug in an OBD2 scanner, you will get the P0700 code. And the powertrain computer, pretty much you're getting this code because the powertrain computer has detected that there is different RPM values at the input, and with the RPM sensor, and that the transmission output RPM, there's a difference between the input of the RPM sensor and the transmission output RPM sensor. And this could mean that the transmission is slipping, but it could mean also that you might have a sensor that's broken down, or some other thing that's causing that slippage. I mean, it might not be your transmission per se, so you don't want to just go out there and change up your transmission without doing some troubleshooting. It might be something as simple as your fluid is low, your transmission fluid is low. So basically, when the sensors in your Acura's transmission find that the vehicle's gear ratio is not within specs, it'll send a P0730 code to the car's computer. If there's a problem with any of the gears within an automatic transmission, basically, if you get the P0730, it pretty much means that there might be a problem with the automatic transmission, and the problem is obviously that it's not functioning properly and the gear ratio is incorrect. So other things that could cause the D4 issue, D4 blinking in a P0700 code, could be the torque converter lockup clutch, which sorts to establish a sort of mechanical lock between the rotation of the engine and the transmission. Problems with the torque lockup converter lockup clutch can result from a bunch of issues. But getting back to the D4 light, it could be flashing because your Acura's automatic transmission is having problem making the right choice on which gear to change into while you're physically shifting the gears. This implies that the transmission might be slipping, but it could also imply that there might be a sensor that's off somewhere, or maybe your transmission fluid is low, or there's some kind of overheating with your transmission. So if you guys want to avoid this problem, a lot of this is avoidable, and first easiest step and least expensive step is to make sure that your car has enough transmission fluid. Now, transmission fluid is absolutely vital to the lubrication, the functioning of your transmission, and it is vital in the cooling of the transmission. And depending on how many miles you have on your car, if you swap out that transmission fluid every 30 to 60,000 miles, probably should swap it out, 30 to 60,000 miles, because dirty transmission fluid can cause some of the issues associated with this light. However, if you have a car with 130,000 miles, 140,000 miles with dirty transmission fluid, probably should think a little bit more and try to figure out if there's some other issue that's causing that before swapping out the fluid, because with that high mileage, your transmission might need the viscosity of the transmission fluid that's been in the transmission for that long to operate correctly at that point. So the next thing you want to do is you want to prevent overheating with your transmission. So if your temperature gauge is reading high, you might want to consider checking on your coolant levels, and just to make sure that one of the things that causes issues with transmissions and engines, etc., is heat. Heat is an enemy of a well working transmission and a good working engine. And if there's any issues with your gauges, as far as your gauge is showing overheating, etc., you definitely might want to let your car cool down. And if you have some maybe coolant issues where it's low, you might just want to fill that up. But regardless of that, if you guys have this issue, there are many ways that you guys could fix this issue without actually having to look at the main portion of the transmission as the cause of your transmission. Normally, transmission fixes in general is very expensive, but if you guys do get a P0700 code, majority of the time you're going to get another code along with that, P0701 to P0 to the 800s, the P0800 codes. You guys get any of those trouble codes associated with this P0700 code, definitely look into that, because a lot of times it could be a sensor that's causing your issue, and that could be a very, very inexpensive and easy fix. So so just to let you guys know, as far as transmission codes are concerned, they're kind of a little bit complicated to diagnose, but if you guys have the right tools for it, OBD2, it might be pretty simple. So if you guys have this issue, and you guys fixed it, or whatever it is that you guys done to try to resolve it, definitely leave leave a comment in the comment section. It might help somebody else out. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Hope this has helped you guys out in some way. And take care, guys.